Alrighty. So this week, did not mean to clap in the mic like that. This week, we are talking about a couple of different strengths, a couple of different energies that are in our space right now here on Earth. I am pretty excited about these. I have some personal experience with what's going on in these energies. And I didn't even realize it. We entered into this particular transit on the 11th, and we will be experiencing these added strengths in our energetic makeup for a few days. We're going to be experiencing it until August 17th. So the first strength that we have is strength number 4, the strength of formalization. So it is located in the Ajna, which is a conceptual processing center. So this has a lot to do with thinking. Specifically, the function is to come up with an answer. In Gene Keys, which is one of the modalities that I work with, it is transforming the shadow of intolerance into the gift of understanding, and at its highest vibration, at its highest frequency, when things are clicking on all cylinders, it is the city of forgiveness. So if you normally have this gate, which I do not, though I am appreciative of both of these energies that are in our conscious sun and earth this week, but if you normally have this energy, you have the ability to come up with answers to questions. However, these answers are only potential, which must be substantiated by facts. The answers you have are meant to be for questions that come from the people around you and not necessarily your own questions. Your challenge is to learn to manage mental anxiety when you do not understand something and give yourself enough mental space to come up with an answer to something. I'll give the example of the anthology that I'm a part of. I have been in my head a lot about, and rightfully so, about what my chapter is going to be about. And we went through our Shiro's Journey exercise last month. It gave me some things to contemplate and to bring to life. And I use AI to help me flesh out some of those things because I was like, help me make this make sense. And so I did. And my chapter is supposed to be 2,500 words. The AI only helped me with half of that. So when I submitted it for like editing and things, like once it helped me make sense of what I was saying vocally during that session, I still have to go in and like tell stories and flesh things out. And so when I got the feedback back, I think it came in on Saturday. I didn't look at it until this morning. It felt like I was back at the drawing board, really. And that put a lot of pressure on me to try and figure out, okay, well, if all of this feedback was said, then what now today, right? It was this anxiety and this kind of pressure today to figure it out. The ajna is always trying to figure it out. And when you feel yourself being in that energy of, I'm trying to, or I'm figuring it out, or whatever you want to insert there, you know that you're in your head. And it's really imperative for you to get into your body to kind of like, yes, do the work, do the conceptualizing. However, the answers will come. And so even though I felt this tremendous amount of pressure to come up with an answer right away, to change the edit today and get it done, because it is due on the 16th, I had to kind of just recognize and be aware, because at the end of the day, it's a awareness center. I had to recognize that, and I had to trust that the answers are going to come. We have our second meeting of the month tomorrow at 8 p.m., where we meet together, the women and I who are part of this anthology. We meet as a group and we talk through certain things. We get updates on where things are coming. And not only that, I had already set aside time on Wednesday to brainstorm further how to really add more details to my chapter. And now, because of the feedback and because I expressed that I needed more support from the person who's kind of leading this charge, I now have a meeting on Wednesday night to help me flesh this out even more. So when we look at this gate or this strength, this gate 4, which is formalization, we sometimes live, because of conditioning, in the shadow form of whatever this gift is. And so in the repressive, and this was something that really, really showed up for me today, in the repressive, it's an overthinker that creates mental anxiety when they do not understand something or try to force answers. They must give themselves enough mental space to come up with an answer to something. So this is what I'm doing. In the reactive, they may become completely apathetic, feel inferior, and appear to be disinterested in everything. So questions, if you are living in the shadow, whichever one it might be, the repressive, the reactive version of it, these are some questions that can help you kind of process the energy there. So acknowledge it. Am I forcing answers just to release mental pressure? What can I do to create more space for answers to come through? Am I comfortable with waiting? What can I do to increase my patience and curiosity? So that's our conscious sun energy. Then we have strength 49, which is in our earth. It's our stabilizing energy. It's principles. And so this is actually located in our solar plexus, which is an awareness center. And so specifically 49 principles is awareness of who and what is needed. And in Gene Keys, it's transforming the shadow of reaction into the gift of revolution. And at its highest frequency is rebirth. So if you normally have this gate, which I do not, but I did see today an example of how this is really important to have this, is you tend to have a very clear set of principles and rules, especially in relationships. If someone violates your principles, you tend to have no problem rejecting them or leaving what doesn't serve you. This is also the energy to influence revolution, change, and reformation. There is an underlying fear of rejection and consequences of unpredictability. Your challenge is to not quit prematurely and miss the opportunity to create intimacy. It is important for you to not settle or compromise your value in situations, relationships, and with agreements that aren't worthy for you. And so this showed up for me because I'm finishing up with one of my last beta agreement contracts from the business coaching without focusing on alignment first days. And there's this saying that when you have skin in the game, you're more committed and you're more invested. And this is definitely true in this instance with one of my beta clients. They are always rescheduling or canceling. And instead of canceling the agreement, some of this may be my undefined heart center willing me into things. But instead of terminating our agreement, I look at it as an opportunity to honor the new boundaries I'm setting for myself because I value my time. I'm not going to shift and mold and bend my schedule, time, or energy because they aren't committed. And I really love that this energy is in the air because, like I said, normally I don't have consistent access to this strength if you look at my energetic blueprint. And speaking of, let's talk about conditioning. Let's talk about shadows. So, the repressive side of this principles gate is in the repressive. There's a deep fear of rejection, so they play it safe. They show zero reaction or vulnerability in relationships. In the reactive, they react and push others away before having a chance to be rejected or hurt by others. They struggle to maintain intimate relationships. So that is kind of the energy that I'll have to say, because I don't normally have this active in my energetic blueprint. This is something that I'm appreciating having access to, because it is allowing me to honor those boundaries in a way that normally I don't. And so the questions for both the sun and the earth gates are going to be on my blog, which will be published either later tonight or early tomorrow. I have to get all of this audio and things to my assistant so he can do those things. But I want you to know that those questions will be there for your reflection from now until the 17th, when we enter into a new transit. And if you don't know whether you naturally have these strengths, the 4 or the 49, to pull your chart and to check them out and see whether or not this is something that you have consistent access to. And while you're there, if you want to download the free ebook that is waiting for you, which gives you some insights on how you sleep best, how do you manage overwhelm and stress, you can even learn how your immune system is designed. All of those things are waiting for you on my website. So that's that. And if you want to support my business by learning more about you, there's also a 60-page custom report that you can download, all about your strengths and your energy and things like that. So until the 17th or 18th, I hope that you have an amazing week, and I hope that you honor your energy, because life is too short not to.